Hi friends! Thank you for joining me this week for Sunday School. We have a fun and exciting Bible story. It's about people going into Jericho and taking over the city. Now it was done in the most unique way. I bet you can't even guess how they went into the city. Well, it has to do with trumpets. So I thought our craft, we could make some horns. So I have some paper and some markers, and I thought we could make a horn. So what I want you to do is decorate your paper any old way. You can use white paper, colorful paper, whatever kind of paper, even lined notebook paper will work. Whatever you have, start decorating it, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, I decorated my paper. Did you decorate yours? So all we have to do is kind of roll it in to a trumpet-like shape. Just like that. So there's my decorations. Here's where I can blow into, and here's the big part. So you can use tape or glue or whatever. I just happen to have a stapler right here. So I will staple that. I guess I can't really staple the bottom, that would be tricky. So I can glue up my side like this. Voila! Do, 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 do. How many times can you blow this trumpet? Do, 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 do. So as you know, our Bible story is in the book of Joshua, and that's in the Old Testament. So if you look it up in your Bible, I look for the big 6, because our story is Joshua 6, 1 through 27. And look, in my Bible right here, it's labeled Instructions About Jericho. Interesting. Wonder who those instructions are coming from. Right, probably God, right? So we're going to read out of the Picture Bible all about this story. Let's see what happens. Today I'm reading our story from the Spark Story Bible, published by Spark House. The Battle of Jericho. The Israelites had finally gotten to the land God promised. They stood outside the tall walls of the city called Jericho. God told Joshua that it was time for them to take over the city. So Joshua told the Israelites about God's plan. "Here's what we will do," said Joshua. Joshua counted off 7 priests from the group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You will each play a shofar. Keep blowing all the time, even if your lips get tired. Next, Joshua looked at the soldiers in the group. Grab your weapons and walk in front of the priest. The rest of you walk behind the priest. Everyone will need to walk quietly. Any questions? Okay, let's go. The horns were loud. The people of Jericho could hear them through the thick stone walls of the city. What was happening? The Israelites kept walking. Left, right, left went their marching feet around the city. The Israelites wondered how God's plan was going to work as they looked at those thick city walls. The Israelites did this for 6 whole days. The people of Jericho watched every day. They had never seen anything like this before. Should they be afraid, or should they laugh? On the 7th day, the Israelites got up at sunrise and they walked around the city 7 times. After the 7th time, Joshua told the people to shout right after the priests blew their horn one last time. God's plan was for the walls to fall flat when the Israelites shouted. The Israelites shouted so loud that the ground began to shake. The thick stone walls began to shake too. And soon they started to crumble. Huge stones crashed to the ground. The walls came tumbling down. The Israelites got what God had promised. You can take your horn and make horn noises while marching around your house or your room. So the Israelites just couldn't walk into the city of Jericho because it had a gigantic wall built around the whole city. So they had to follow God's instructions. They had to follow God's instructions that didn't sound quite right. They might have been confused. Do you think that they worried if this would even work? Maybe. But even though they had their doubts and maybe they worried about if this was a good plan or not, they trusted in God. They trusted God and they did what God asked them to do. And it worked. The walls came tumbling down. So we need to remember, even if we don't understand why, when we trust in God, when we believe in God, amazing things happen. And amazing things can happen to you too. So just remember, talk to God. Tell God what you are feeling, because you can believe in God and amazing things will happen to you too. Well, I just love spending this time with you, my friends. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week.